Yeah, I love that about him. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. And in terms of the shift, um, when his first session, he was told, and in the meditation, he was told that it would be at 9:04 p.m. on the 21st of no, of December this year. Is that his current local time, or is that the time zone for Uluru?
That's his current time. The expansion on that is that it's just a time. Um, the energy will be building from the day before, but the energy on the day will be very strong. And possibly it could be 9:04, but it could even be earlier than that. It will all be a matter of frequency and vibration. And if you're at that right, if you're vibrating at the right frequency, then it can be any time. It can be 6:04, it can be 3:04, it can be any time.
Okay, thank you. Anytime on that day, or
Yes, that day. The situation with the light in Uluru is really still going to help a lot of people in that, but people who've been doing their inner work and aware of what's going on, they may choose to go earlier. They may just choose to go earlier.
thank you. That is really good to know. And that's encouraging to know that we should continue on with our own inner work to be able to help this ascension process easier, right?
Yes, because the the time is not really of any importance. The date is, and the convergence of the planets that are assisting with this shift. That's the important part. Then the next component is the person, their vibration, and how easily they will be able to step into the new frequency, and then thus the ascension will occur. Yeah, it still is really based on the person's vibration at that particular time. And most people will be vibrating because of what's occurring with the earth and the energies and light coming in. That'll activate a lot of people. And as I say, those that are already heading for that part, they'll just vibrate, and chances are they'll just go just like that. It won't even be a conscious thought. It'll just occur.
Fantastic. Thank you. And so, right now, percentage wise, how many people are ready to do that shift?
With the backwards and forwards that seems to be happening with quite a few people, close to 50, but it should be greater than 50. Unfortunately, a lot of people, and it's not particularly their fault, but the dark energy forces are really screwing with everything at the moment and pushing out more and more and more negative energy, vibration, misinformation to people, and it's creating people to just veer off course. They're getting caught up in the web of deception, and the web of deception, it has no purpose for people. It's not going to help with your inner work in any particular way. It's best if you can keep away from it. You really need to to be very discerning about what you give your energy to, because it's a time at the moment where they will absorb any energy. It will just be even good energy will be absorbed into the dark to be used on their side.
Yes, is that because the manifestation is the powers of manifestation, the thoughts, we manifest our thoughts. So if we have a moment of fear and worry, boom, we've created this bigger fear and worry. And if we keep buying into it with our thoughts, we will manifest a lot more problems than we deserve.
Yes, it's there are a few different triggers that they know that they can release that instantly puts people into fear. The vaccinations is one. The so-called COVID camps, which are, concentration camps, for want of another word. All of that plays into that fear base, and they feed off the fear. So whenever those trigger points come up, that's you could, if you were looking at a graph, you would be able to see they mention one of these things, particularly the vaccine. You could almost see it spike downwards rather than upwards. It just spirals downwards, and that's just people's fear that don't want it. I mean, the people that do want it, and they're fast asleep, so they won't know anything anyway. But for the people who are slightly awake, they're still allowing that to be a trigger, and it's easy. It's very easy for it to be a trigger. It's just a matter of just raising your vibration or your consciousness to going above it, and not giving it any thought process whatsoever, to bring it in on any kind of timeline.
Yes, thank you. It's kind of like just trusting that we're protected and safe, right?
Yes. If and it goes back to God creator, divine creation, all of that. If you keep putting your focus into that area, you've got less chance of being drawn into that more negative vibration, because within the divine, you're vibrating higher. We know, and Dennis is doing it a lot of the time now, calling Christ consciousness in to surround him for doing different projects, and it works. It definitely works. It is a protection, and it's a good protection. So any kind of dark energy entities or that are there, they will not be able to penetrate that. And also the other thing to use, which he's been using more now, is being aware of his I am presence and who he is, as in I am presence in being, one with Father, Mother, God.
Lovely. Yeah. And so while you say that 50% of people are now sort of awoken and ready to shift, what will that percentage be like towards, say, December 20th?
If the ones who are awake and they are heading in that direction, and even with some of these slight distractions which will pull them down, they should be able to easily go straight back up. So anything pulling you down will only pull you down momentarily, and you should be vibrating at a high enough level to virtually raise straight back up to where you were. And that's got a lot to do with the light and the energies that are currently flowing into the planet. So it's there. And it's best to be aware that this is happening. So if you can put that awareness into your consciousness, that this energy and light is coming in now. Once you put it into your awareness or your consciousness, you can easily pull yourself back up anytime during the day if you feel low or something has triggered you. You just go straight back to that awareness, and that the light and the frequencies all are being coming into the planet now. Just really be aware of it, more than anything else.
Yeah. Aware and trust that it's happening, right?
Well, yes, it is happening, but and trust is a very good word to use. But it's more your inner knowing. Just always keep going to your inner knowing, and then and don't really want to use the word trust, because trust has been bandied around by so many different things that it's actually corrupted now, the word.
Okay, so what about more like follow through with trust your own intuition, trust your own gut intuition, trust yourself?
Just prefer the word know. Just know.
Okay, yeah. Is it
And
only?
just know in your infinite soul, know that that's the case.
Nice, nice. So tapping into your inner knowing and really reside in that, and base your project yourself from that inner knowing.
Yeah, if put all this awareness of the light and the frequencies and everything that are coming down now, put that into your awareness, then allow that awareness to be part of you, and then part of your consciousness, and just know that is what it is, and where it needs to be. As I say, with trust just being bastardized. So the word doesn't really. You almost need in fact, you don't even need a word. It's just a knowing. It's just a knowing.
Thank you so much. So in terms of December 20th, the percentage of people that will be shifting off this planet will be what?
December 21.
Yeah.
Probably about 60 to 70%, somewhere, depending on where people are. But because the energy will shift dramatically from that 20th, it will build up earlier, but you will really start to feel it on the 20th. It may end up being around about that 70% mark.
Fantastic. Thank you. And in terms of the energy that's on the planet now, last time we were talking subconscious or high stuff, you were sort of saying about the 6th of December onwards was going to be a bigger shift as well.
Yeah, from the 6th of December, greater energy flow will be coming in. It will be lighter. More light will be coming into to assist. Frequencies will be altering, and it's almost like just incrementally every day, just turning the dial up a little bit with the frequency. So nothing that'll jar people, but it will just enhance their frequencies as they go along. And again, that will depend on the person and what frequency they're vibrating at, because everybody is vibrating. Well, not everybody, but people will be vibrating at different levels. As of now, they are. When we get towards the 20th, there'll be more harmony in the vibration.
Nice, thank you. And I experienced a beautiful, calm, peace, serenity feeling on the 11th, and have kind of really kept on that flow of things. Is that going to just keep building up that way, or is there going to be some turmoil ahead? What's happening there?
There will be turmoil. There's no doubt about it. That's part of what's sort of happening with a lot of people. Some people will be striking peace at different levels. Dennis had an experience yesterday where, even though everything is very quite crazy, an absolute calming bliss came across him for a period, and what that is almost an experience of what the 5D energy will feel like. We're not able to experience the whole thing, but we are able to experience glimpses of it. But again, all things have got to be in harmony. It's got to be, your vibration's got to be good. You've got to be in touch with who you are or whatever. You need to be vibrating at a love frequency as well. So there's this, and these are only the variables for now, like while you're in this 3D situation. Of course, on 5D, that's a given of where you'll be. But here, and many people will be having these experiences. They may be 5 minutes, they may be 10 minutes, they may be half an hour, they may be half a day. They won't be the entire time, but they will be experiences.
Great, thank you so much. And in terms of the light winning, this is the belief system that I had, is that the light has already won, and that the darkness, the people with the negative agenda, have really been overthrown by the light, shall we say. So how is it that the dark is still kind of playing these games with triggering people into vaccination fears and COVID fears?
The darkness is still playing out their roles of what they were doing, but if you look at it from like an outsider's view, it's very intense at the moment. It's like they're trying to cram in 1 year into 1 month of what they're trying to do. In theory, that should start awakening a few more people that something is wrong. This is just very wrong to be wanting to change all these things at once. As to the light winning, yes, that's true. This is just playing out with this dark agenda, but the dark agenda has still got power, which is not to be dismissed, because it can affect different people, as in earlier saying about the changing of people's vibration with that, by lowering it. So in an overall timeline, yes, it's the light has won, but we are actually still witnessing it playing out at another level.
Would it be fair to say that the darkness is still existing to be able to trigger people, to awaken them, to be able to experience and navigate these lower emotions again for the potentially last time, for them to truly build themselves back up again, to know, to have that inner knowing more stronger than ever?
Yes, that's part of it. Is that to awaken people to, that there's something wrong, and that they need to be, and it goes back to awareness, what we spoke of before. People need to be more aware. They've become too conditioned to not be aware. They're allowing outside influences to be their awareness, and that's not what any of this is about. This is all about your own awareness, your own inner awareness of what's going on, how to discern things yourself, not have somebody else, like be it a spiritual teacher or a news reader or a newspaper or whatever, tell you what the truth is. And when we say truth in inverted commas, it's your own inner knowledge and your own awareness. This is all about awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Thank you so much. I have a question about clones. Um, the agenda, if there I don't know how to word this properly. If you're a dark clone, can the good come and take you over?
You're asking, can a dark clone take you over?
No, can a dark clone be taken over by the good?
Hmm. It's possible. It's possible. Again, it's a programming situation. So if they were able to remove the dark energy from the clone, then a reprogramming of the clone, because it's not a person, should easily be able to be changed.
And would that work the other way around? A good clone turned dark?
Don't see the purpose there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. We were wondering if we've heard some interesting things and we wanted clarification, and we knew subconscious and the high self that you'd be able to help us. There's rumors that Biden is suddenly going to have the Holy Spirit come into him and be a good guy. So, what do you say about that?
Not possible. Not possible at all.
And tell us why.
Well, he is a clone. So again, there's no sense, no purpose for the Holy Spirit to enter into a clone. Can only imagine if that were to be the case, and this is just very hypothetical, it would be only to like awaken people in some fashion. But yeah, even that just seems even too far out of the norm. If people wouldn't understand, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even believe in the Holy Spirit. So yeah, that's quite a muddle, that whole concept.
Thank you. Yes, we agree. And so, what do you say about Trump now working for the dark side, as people in the spiritual world have been saying now?
Not true. People are either trying to be popular, so they're just jumping on the bandwagon of that, which again is they're not being true to themselves in any particular way. They're being ego driven with the amount of followers or people that they have on their pages. There are some that are still very true, that are still calling it as they feel it and know it. But yeah, there are quite a few. I wouldn't say taken over by the dark energy, but they're certainly influenced by it. But that's because they're coming from that ego point of view, and they've been, during all of this, they've really been able to grow their channels, and popularity breeds itself. And I mean, they're just enjoying that popular ride.
But isn't that kind of going against what the whole intention of being a spiritual being person is, to kind of?
Yes, it is, but they're actually, we'll take it back to the base. They're a human being, or they're a spirit having a human experience. So they're just learning how easy it is to be pushed off path. It's very easy. The ego is really the part of them that's running the show, and for a lot of them, they're loving the adoration of having all these fans and seeing themselves as influencers in society. And you know, people, well, that whole concept's just nonsense in any sense. Influencers, I mean, the whole thing is just rubbish. But anyway, going back to your question, that's what they're caught up in. That, yes, they're still on a spiritual path, and they will learn from this experience.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. As long as they don't drag other people off purpose or their own path, then
Well, they won't drag anybody off purpose that doesn't choose to go off purpose. Everything is always goes back to choice. There's as far as all that's concerned, you don't have to follow or worship anybody. You just don't need to. And we say that if you do need to go down that path, then you need a lot of inner work that needs to be done on yourself. You really are not in tune with who you truly are.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for that confirmation. And so, so just to confirm, there's no dark hidden agenda from Trump.
No, can't see any of that. There've been posts that are put out and videos that he's going to the dark side and all of this, and again, this goes back to the same things that occurred this year. If people were critical thinking and they were logically thinking, it wouldn't make any sense to them. Why would he spend the last 4 years doing the work that he's done and fighting the dark side if at the end of the 4 years he was just going to let it go and become part of it? I mean, none of that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if that were the case, put it this way, they would have been able to pull their agenda back in 2016 and used him as part of it.
Yeah.
So there was no reason to wait until 2020 to do this. They could have, I mean, they've had this in their plans for so long. They could have easily have done it with that. So again, it's like all these things with the virus. I mean, the rules are illogical, and yet people can't see that they are illogical.
So it's all purposeful to try and awaken people up with just these obvious begging to awaken people ploys now, isn't it?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say, if there is anyone spiritually claiming to be awoke and aware, now saying that Biden's going to have the Holy Spirit in him and that Trump has gone on the dark side, is it time to stop maybe following those types of people? Or
Yes, because again, that goes back to, learning your own discernment. I mean, you are your own person, so you need to develop and understand who you really are, and not keep looking outwards all the time to any other guru or influencer. You should be your own influencer.
Yeah. What about the influencers and the gurus and the spiritual people that are still triggering people with talking about the vaccines and how they're going to hurt us, and it kind of seems like they're scaring their followers too into fear?
Yes. When that is such a trigger point, when they start going down that path, and then adding confusion into that. Some of them will be chips within it, nanochips within it. Some will just be harmless saline that'll be in it. It's just all muddying the waters. Just totally muddying the waters in it all. You're best to not to even listen to it or give it any kind of energy. The more of those things that you don't give any energy, the less likelihood they have of any form of manifestation.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much. So true. And so if we feel that we are tripping into a little bit of fear or worry, process it, acknowledge it, but also know that, we need to keep focusing on the greater good here to keep ourselves up and high vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, love it,
Yes.
understand it. I will honor that. So thank you so much for that. I have a question about the dimensions on this planet. Are you able to help me understand how many layers or levels of dimensions there are on this current Earth?
On this 3D Earth.
Yes.
Well, the dimensions, you're looking at it from the perspective if you have above ground and below ground, and then you have like within the fourth density, you have spirit that is able to come in. So from where I'm looking, it's really like the 3 different dimensions.
Nice. Okay, I get that. And subconscious or higher self, where are you looking from? What perspective are you looking from? Are you in
I'm looking from standing on, well, I'm not on Earth, obviously, but looking at it, when you look at the 3, you have an underground situation of civilization.
Mhm.
Then you have the above ground civilization, and then you have virtually like the etheric, which is where psychics and all that can tap into people who have passed over.
Nice.
That aren't of this plane, but they're sort of within that 4th dimension and able to call. Well, they're actually from the 5th dimension, but they're able to get into the 4th dimension and then be channeled from that next level of the 3rd dimension.
Nice. And subconscious, what level do you reside in? And higher self, what level do you reside in?
I drift between 5th dimension and coming down into 4.
Okay. And is that for the higher self or the subconscious?
That's higher self.
Okay. Nice. Okay. And higher self, what do you do for fun and entertainment?
At this point, there's not a great deal of fun going on. It's really keeping focus, keeping an eye on where Dennis is going and how he's going, because he wants to do this ascension, and that's the purpose for being here, is to experience it. And of course, the issue with 3D Earth is there's so many things that can throw you off course all over the place, and that's the greatest challenge. Is for anyone to stay part of the course.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of, you want to remind and tell us again about his choices after the shift in December. Where can he go? Where is he wanting to go? And the choices there.
Yeah, he knows that the moment of moving into the light, he can choose to go to New Earth or return back to Source, and then from either spot he can then go back to his home planet. But the choice will be made when he's in the light, and from the perspective of now, it's looking very much like going to New Earth and experiencing that, and then returning most likely back to Source.
Cute. And so he will be remind me what he's going to be teaching on the New Earth.
It will be teaching and mainly children and younger adults about self-healing, that they are able to do their own healing. So it won't be a big job of any description. It's really just explaining energy and what they can do if they get a cut or something like that, that they can then close the wound up with their own hand over the top of it. Virtually the same like healing that's here, only at a much higher level.
Amazing. And so that's something that he's already learned in a past lifetime?
Yes. Well, not a past lifetime, it's actually a future lifetime.
Oh, fantastic, even better. And so in terms of when he sees the light, the veil gets taken off him, he remembers everything of who he is, including being the higher self, or what?
Yes, very much. Well, everything becomes part of knowledge, and he will understand everything. It will all be there. And so that's sort of the point. It's almost obscure at the moment to sort of say go this way or that way. He really needs to experience, and which is what he wants to do. He wants to experience that energy and that light, and then in that moment discover who he really is, and then from then he'll decide which way he goes. But as we say, it looks like very much leaning towards New Earth and initial teaching with newly crossed over children that are there in how the healing works. I mean, the children will have a lot of the knowledge already embedded within them. It's really just a matter of bringing it out for them.
Cute. And I know that Benji the dog's going with him to cross over through the light. What is Benji wanting to do? Is Benji wanting to go to the new Earth with him?
Yes, he does. He wants to go to the new Earth, but he also will return to Source if that's the choice. He's happy to go either way.
Can you tell me what Benji would be doing on the old Earth, on the new Earth, please?
He is a dog, but on the new Earth, and again it will be his choice. He can still be, Benji the dog, or he can just be his energetic self.
Cute.
And as his energetic self, I mean, we are equal. We are totally equal to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we are equal. We are equal now. We both know that.
Cute. Yep. Yes. So adorable. So Dennis was saying that he felt sorry for all the animals being on the planet right now. Subconscious, what do you have to say about that?
Yes, that was more in respect of if with the Earth, if the Earth decided to just go and spin all the inhabitants off it, man has created a lot of the mess that's sort of here, whereas the animals have not. But in truth, I mean, that's just looking at it still from a very almost 3D perspective. They're not, I mean, when they die, they're not dead. Their life's eternal. So unfortunately, that's when the 3D keeps creeping in to your human life.
Which is normal and natural, isn't it?
Sorry?
Which is normal and natural, isn't it, really?
Yes. I mean, because we always keep having to, remember that we are here having this dense human existence. And whilst we are growing spiritually and going closer back to understanding who we truly are, and we're starting to live, occasionally we're living a lot more of that and less of that, we still occasionally get those 3D human emotions come through.
Yeah, which is cute. While in Rome, you might as well be 3D, right?
Yes.
Or in Australia or New Zealand or wherever we are, right? We might as well just rock it while we can.
Yes. I mean, at the moment, people will be finding that have moving on their path towards the ascension. They'll be drifting a lot more between the two thought processes. You'll be having a higher 5D thought process in your thoughts, and then occasionally you'll be somehow dragged back into a 3D thought pattern, which is normal for both to be there. But we say just be aware and think about it, how many times you're thinking more in a 5D situation than you are in a 3D situation.
Yeah, the bigger picture, perspective, and understanding everything has a lesson and a purpose there, and we must not be triggered into fear and must have the greater compassion and purpose perspective.
Yes, because the essence is already within you, and all you're doing is you're just becoming aware. Again, that word aware. You're becoming aware of who you are. And
Yes.
that's why you're able to tap into that part of the consciousness. Makes total sense to you. And as the days are progressing between now and the 21st, you will find, if you're doing your work, you will be accessing that information more and more, or feeling it more and more.
Yes, love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. What else do we get to say here? So, so fantastic. And so, can we just confirm that Dennis is an Arcturian who had an original lifetime on Orion, or was it just a lifetime that he had on Orion?
He had another lifetime, or a couple of lifetimes on Orion. He was given that in a meditation many years ago, and he'd not even heard of Orion at all, which he found was really strange, because he was expecting it to be one of the more known planets or situations. But that's also looking, again, with a very limited constructed mind, which is not the same as now, whereas now he can be aware that that was a life there. But yes, he is Arcturian.
And so, can you describe to me his original planet and what kind of lifestyle and life he had there?
Most of his lives there were not embodied. He spent more of his life as energy, as an energy being.
Okay.
So it's not like a life where you have a house or any of that. It's more that you're part of that general, for want of another word, but the same as a consciousness. So you're an energy as part of. You're aware of everything that's happening, and you're able to access that, and it's not like life, and it's not a lifetime as in a starting point, a finishing point. It's almost like a continuous point. Like infinity, that you would go around, come back again, and go around, come back again. It's not like you're this name at this particular time, or you're this such and such. It's a far more evolved situation than probably you would think of, and that's not trying to sound egotistical or anything like that. It's just the way it is, and there are people that incarnate in a form of a body, and there are others that are quite happy to just be energy source.
Yeah, thank you. And I understand, and I know that higher beings don't have ego as such. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It just sounds like it, because if you say that somebody's, vibrating at X amount of whatever, and again, that's listening to it at a 3D, constraint. It automatically goes, oh, so they think they're so much better. It's got nothing to do with better. It's the frequency, the vibration, and who they are. If in those lives, in that particular time, there was no purpose in becoming a body. There was no need to become a body. All that could be accessed from the energy field.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I understand and I get that. And I love it. Thank you very much for helping us with that. And can I ask, please, in terms of that presidential debate and that ongoing election, is that not going to be officially called until after the shift? So there will be no civil war. Is that looking like that's going to be played out like that?
There'll be information that'll come out in December that will allow. Well, you will know then that Trump is the president.
Okay. And will people cope with that?
There will be unrest, and again, there will, and it's not saying it for any particular real reason, but that will be some people's exit points ahead of the shift.
Okay. Yeah. And is that because they're going to go home or back to source, or are they just preparing themselves to start the journey to New Earth?
Most of the people will be going back to source. Then back at source, they'll be able to determine what they choose to do, as in a next lifetime, if it is on New Earth, or if it's on their own home planet, or if they go to another dimension, another whatever. That will be determined by them. But their contracts were to exit ahead of any form of shift.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I understand that.